Hi, I'm Bryan, and I'm doing a document, a 4-part series that I'm calling the American Upper Paleolithic Period. Right here, we have the Sandy Lick Creek, and up here is a site that I started working in 2012 and started noticing some very, very unusual artifacts. First thought was maybe like Clovis or maybe Paleo-Indian, but I wasn't sure, so I'd done some research. Anyways, the 4-part series will document. This first part is the site. We're going to go up to the site and we're going to take a look around. We're going to show you guys the site, and we're going to, I don't know, we maybe even see some artifacts. There might be some artifacts around there yet. There was a bunch, but I'll show you everything that I found. First though, the second part we're going to do is we're going to take a look at all the evidence that I found. Now there's probably 70 artifacts or so. There's some bone implements, stone implements. Some of them are finished, some of them aren't. They're very unusual, and actually they're kind of bizarre, kind of reminiscent of the Upper Paleolithic period in Europe, which is quite astounding. At least it was to me. The second part is there's actual art that I found. Stickman figures on stones, and there's like a goddess, maybe like a Venus goddess, I'm not sure, but we're going to take a look at that whenever we document what I call the Sandy Man. Sandy Man, probably the first man in this area. This is the Sandy Lick Creek, so that's why I'm calling it the Sandy Man. Alright, then part 4 I'll share with you later, because that's just a hypothesis. But right now, we're going to take a walk up to the site. This is actually an older area. I don't know, you probably did it probably about 100, built probably about 100 years ago, but there's some parts, or it probably goes back further than that. But there's still, as you can see, heavily, there's a section of wood here, and I'll explain to you why. That's still wood, and we're going to take a look at that. You can see Sandy Lick Creek here, which take a walk up here. It's not really that far. There you go. This is a footpath along here in this part, so you'll see people. There's a walkway over this way here. So you see people walking around, but we're gonna get up into the woods here. So yeah, I've been coming up in here probably since about, well, for many years, but doing this since 2012. So we got like a bit of a tram road right here. This here is the old railroad, or part of the old railroad here that's been closed down. Actually, the area we're going to is an abandonment, abandoned property that was abandoned probably, I don't know, probably late 70s. So no one's been up here, even though it is considered an archaeological site, but it's been used and gone overused. It's actually in better shape now than what it was whenever I found it. People dump garbage on there, tires, junk. There was a junkyard to the one side of it. So yeah, it was an archaeological site, but it's already been, I don't know, from an archaeological standpoint how you would say that, it's already been hit, and it's not in its original context. It's actually a multi-complex site now with all the junk that's on there. Well, there's still junk. There's not as much as you'll see whenever we get there. Now see, like I say, we have the Sandy Lick Creek running here. So this is a hillside site. That's we can't see it yet, but I'm just letting you know because I wanted to show you something about this area right here. But it's a hillside site, and given the thousands of years that the Sandy Lick Creek probably moved, would have been a water source for these people. Of course, if you're like even the Native Americans, these people go way back further than that. You still got to have a close by water source, if you're gonna plan on staying anywhere for any length of time. This area here, you got the railroad tracks that run here, and this area here is probably dug out, maybe I'm thinking, and it was filled with water for whatever reason. The main tracks run right up here. I'll show you those. These tracks are run down here, maybe just a short distance. I don't know if they were using the water here or whatever, they were storing water or whatever, but it's a big pit. And if we look over here in the woods, we see there's a guy over there. He's walking his dog. See, we're gonna run into that, but we're gonna continue on up to the site. This is the path where we're going to actually go on up into the site. It might come as a surprise. As a kid, I ran around in the woods a lot. But I never hunted Native American artifacts. Never really found any until I found this. That's why it gave me, so much trouble there. Was because I didn't really know what I was looking at. So it's been since 2012. This is 2016 now. It's 4 years of internet searches, 4 years talking around with people, 4 years of seeing what I could find. But in the next part, part 2, for all you guys if you're watching this video and you follow this video, follow these videos, you get on there, and I'll show you the evidence. The next video that we do, we're gonna look at a whole bunch of the artifacts and go through them and explain to you what I think they are, and then you guys can take a look at it yourself. And also, it's always been understood that the Paleo Indians, the Clovis people, were the first people in the United States. I'm gonna do a video later, in video number 4, about that. And of course, I believe that too. Why wouldn't I believe that? That the Clovis people were the first people here. But if you look at their technology and the way they made their stone tools, and you look at these stone tools, there had to be some transition period in there. It was a pre-Clovis people before the Clovis people, of course. So where did the pre-Clovis people, that's where they get their technology at. And not only that, the Clovis people, their technology isn't really found anywhere else in the world. This is another thing that gave me, some trouble. Is the Clovis people and the Clovis spear point, the fluted spear point, doesn't appear anywhere else. It only appears here in America. See if you have an idea. See all those tires down there, those rusty items down there, and tree stumps and tires and all. Those tires were actually up here on the site, and I dumped. I had to get them off the site, because it was just a wreck. here's the railroad. You know what's left of it that they had come through here. You know, it's all growing up now. And the railroad came through here. All right. And the hospital building, this hospital is up there, and you got some more down here. Hospital buildings there, and you got this site right here. At some point in time, there was over that way there was a junkyard. So we had a junkyard over here, and of course the hospital and their buildings, and the railroad right here. Okay, and this area right here in the middle was left untouched. Like a hillside site right here, and this right here is the site. This area right here is the site. It was artifacts, implements found all along here. Not much digging really required. And you can see the condition of the site. That there was, you know, it's multi, you know, it's multi-complex now. They had lots of people here doing whatever, you know, after these people were here. And I asked myself, if you have a site with Native Americans or, you know, whoever, you know, they probably had to have fire, right? So there must be a fire pit. Now while this can't be proven, but I looked, there's a fire pit right here. It could have been them. It could have been, you know, they had people coming back here, you know, from the railroad to work the railroad. You know, like the railroad hobos, bums, whatever, you know, they were called. Camped here. There was stones, like river pebbles and stones laying around. It could have been. They'll never be able to prove that if it was actually, you know, them. But the fact is, if you ask yourself the question, well, there must be a fire pit, and boom, there's one. You know, what do you say? There's a better one up top though, in there, but it's on their property. There's a big opening in their grass up here that was never fixed. I don't know if we'll be able to get up there or not. The reason why is because I don't want to bother people, you know, making videos. They're going in and out of the doctors. You know, the last thing they probably want to see is somebody running around with a camera. You know, I do that like maybe over to mall or whatever, but you know, I won't mess with them now. But anyways, this is the bottom part of the site. It's where people likely was here thousands of years ago. Who knows how long, but it's kind of hard to see now, but there were and probably are still artifacts around, you know, because you never really get them all. I'm going to take a walk over here. It's probably the easiest way to get up. Anyway, this is the top part. There were some artifacts here. The majority of the artifacts that I got off of this site, this part of the site, are down at, I donated them, and they're down at our local historical society. Because, you know, I didn't know really what to do with them. I still have some, but the majority of the ones I got from up here are, you know, down there at our local historical society. right over in there, you know, his artifacts just laying around. Like I said, those ones they're down at our local historical society. That's the top part of the site. At the very least, you know, if nothing else, it's a fascinating study. It's not really, you know, really that believed that an Upper Paleolithic period actually occurred in the Americas, like the Upper Paleolithic period in Europe. Did they come here? I don't know, but I can tell you what, it's fascinating and it's very interesting. We're going to take a look at this in video number 2. We're going to examine the evidence, and everybody can see for themselves if in fact an Upper Paleolithic period occurred in America.